Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Okay, wait, I have to get what podcast number this is
This
first.
is
Do you know?
17. Isn't that
Oh,
the
that's the line, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's the line.
we're
Okay, I'll
legit.
do
We
the
made it.
intro then. Okay, welcome to Unscripted Strength episode number 17, which means I haven't looked this up in years, but it means that we're permanent now.
We
This
are.
is a permanent fixture and we're staying here, so you guys just have to watch forever. So, welcome back. Please like, comment, subscribe. It gives us stuff to talk about. I don't think we have any comments to go over right now. Maybe because we took another small hiatus, but whatever, losers. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching. As we normally do, I think we're just going to go over what we're doing for training real quick. And then I do have something to talk about and maybe pre-training, I want to say, that frustrates me. And then we can go into training. The thing that frustrates me that I will then let Day talk about her. This is why I want to do this, because I want Day to talk about her shit. Because all the time online with all these fitness influencers, I think the general population of people in which I normally am interacting with see the training that these people do online, and either it's like this frustrating thing of I should be able to do this much while having a like actual job. Like so many people online, like even myself with the running community, like I can't right now handle that much because of my norm, like I have a life that I have to do. But if my life was just like making fitness content, I think it's a lot easier. On the flip side of that, I think people could do more, you know? I think people should try to prioritize their health a little bit more. And I hear all the time, like I have a full-time job or I have something. And I totally understand that because Day and I also both have too much work. However, I think that in like the how the Western civilizations, us, prioritize life, it's like this thing called work is above your own personal mental and physical health, and that's crazy to me. When I hear people quitting because their work life is too busy, what I hear is like, I don't prioritize my health over my job, so I'm just gonna let that go to shit to handle the other stuff. That
Yeah.
was my rant. So the reason I want Day to talk about this is because I do think you prioritize your health so much in like physical movement that you get an amount of volume in that Joseph and I all the time talk about how we don't understand how you do what you do. So I want to give you the floor to maybe talk about that because my training's boring. I'm dying all the time. I'll get over it later. I'll talk about it later. But I want you to talk about how you manage that because people have asked that in the comments, and I think it's good to go over again, especially with this Hyrox stuff we're doing.
Yeah. I
That's what
th-
I got.
I think it's interesting that you say like I guess the verbiage of like I prioritize my health where like I think if someone were seeing the behind the scenes of my life, they'd be like she prioritizes movement and
Mm-hmm.
physical fitness and physical exertion, does not prioritize health because then you see like my stress and
Mm.
nutrition too, but like my stress for sure like take a hit, like my mental health. I do think I sacrifice that in order to get physical fitness in.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there is like a sacrifice that I make there. And it was yesterday in a car ride. Me and Marley were driving home, and I got like a heat flash. I'm like, oh man, like I'm driving, and I'm like, it's really hot in here, like out of nowhere, as if I had a hot flash. And she's like, this is your body telling you, like, you are just always overloaded with like stress, and most of it being physical stress, that like you need to slow down. And
Mm-hmm.
we go into this conversation, which we go at least once a week. We talk about this, and certain things that I do that kind of show that I think go a little bit too deep into the physical exertion part, which is like
Mm-hmm.
once my head touches a pillow, within like seconds I am out. There is no like transition to sleep. It's just like I sent you and Carmen a text last night about like, hey, what about tomorrow? And then that was the last thing I did. I put my phone down, went to sleep within seconds, like knocked out. I woke up this morning and I saw you guys replied. Like minutes later, you guys replied like in a timely manner, but I was just like, I was knocked out.
Unconscious.
Yeah, I was unconscious at that time. So So a disclaimer on that. It's I don't think the way I approach it is the most healthy way, and that's just trying to be transparent. That being said, I it's something that I enjoy doing, something that I prioritize a lot. So I always make sure that I'll do things that I don't want to do in order to get it done. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
wake up earlier than I need, than normal to make sure that I get what I said I was going to get done. So if I have a meeting at 6 a.m. because sometimes I just have early meetings. And then so I'm like, okay, well, I need to get my 45-minute run in. So maybe I have to wake up at 3:45, kind of take a 15-minute transition to wake up, warm up, get on the treadmill by 4:15, do my 45-minute run, shower, eat, ready to take on the meeting at 6. And so, oh, I have to be at the lab at 6. Well, that means I have to leave the house by 5:30. If I leave the house by 5:30, it takes me about, let's say, 20 minutes to get ready, and I reverse engineer it. So I do that a lot, and that's why I have a lot of early mornings or late nights. That's another thing too. But it's just being really strategic with like what I have on my schedule and what I have to do to get it in. Some days easier than others. Today I had plenty of time to get my fitness in. Other days it's stressful to get it in. And I think most people go through that cuz like now I'm going on like a long rant,
Most people go through what?
having to figure out like where to fit it in. And
I don't think you're right.
interesting. Okay.
I think a lot of people who we know that are currently at, like maybe at Block,
Uh-huh.
are doing that. But I will say, from my interactions with so many of them, that level of like, how do I fit this in?
Mhm.
The moment it starts to get like a little challenging, gone.
Yeah.
They're just not, and that's not a knock on anyone, like I do it, but I do think it is, I wanted to bring it up because the curiosity I have is like, see, including myself, like when it gets difficult, I do the same thing where I'm like, I'm super stressed, like emotionally, whatever, like with life, and I'll cut out, like exercise just falls off for me. So I do think that more people axe it than it stays like really rigid on their schedule and they try to fit everything else around it.
Yeah. That is a good point. Because I don't see many people making an effort of, maybe tacking on an extra hour at the end of their day or getting up early, an
Hmm.
hour earlier. So when I go home and I visit my family, I spend most of my time with my sister, and she does a lot. She does a lot in her life. Like I notice like she's busy all the time now that she has a baby. So she gets up early, she spends time with the baby doing all things that you do with babies, like making sure they're okay and all that stuff. And then she has to drop the baby off at my mom's house, like 20 minutes away,
Making
making
sure it
sure it
like it
survives,
lives,
right? Like
whatever they
whatever
do.
you have to do to make sure that baby lives. And then she gets ready, and she's someone where she takes time to like get ready and all that stuff because she puts makeup on and she always looks pretty. And she does that. And she drives to my mom's house to drop the baby off, which is like 20-25 minutes of a drive. And then she has to go to school because she's a teacher. Her school starts at like 7:30 or something like that, the first class. So she has to do this all pretty early. She has a full day of school. She has to go pick up the baby. She drops the baby off at her house. Then she has to go to, she's taking evening classes because she was getting her graduate degree in like education administration stuff.
Nice.
And, and by the time she's done, it's usually like 8 p.m., right? So
Yeah.
with her, I see that, and I'm like, and that's also kind of like coaching. That's interacting with people all day, which is exhausting. And
Yeah.
hers is a high school students. So I'm like, okay, I can see how that is super stressful. Like seeing that side of things where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's easy for me to get up an hour earlier or stay up an hour later because I don't have a baby to take care of.
Hmm.
My schedule, my work schedule, I'm coaching, but I'm not coaching back to back to back to back to back to back. And some of my work is at home or some of my work is in the lab where I just put headphones on and I'm on a lab bench pipetting blood into tubes, right? It's not anything, I listen to a podcast and that's what I do. So I see her in her life and I'm like, okay, I can see why this is difficult. Like I understand. And so I'm like, I think I have the luxury of being able to, my work gives me some energy so that I can push and wake up earlier, where some people's work is just like draining, man. Like I don't know if I'd be able to wake up an hour early. I don't know unless I'm in that position.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, most people are that I've met through life aren't taking evening classes, taking care of a newborn baby, driving to and from across the city for this stuff. So I do think people could do more, in short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to make it short. I mean, neither of us ever are very short anyway, so. No, yeah, that's interesting. And I think the thing I'm trying to get after with this too is like there's obviously like a spectrum, of like of I don't do anything and, you know, day of, like getting it in no matter what. Like they could lose a foot. She's like, shit, I'm on an echo bike, 1 foot off the bike. We're getting it in today. Um, but yeah, I mean, for stuff like that, I think the thing that's in my head is like, your sister still, for best health practices, should exercise. Just to use her as an example and not to pick on her or anything. But the question I have is like, as like, people who work in the fitness industry, could we do a better job of providing more useful information for, people who feel like they don't have enough time in their day? Because I feel like so much of the content you find online is about like what's the optimal exercise, or here's like how a workout should be, or like all this stuff, but there's not many people. I think Andy Galpin did it a while ago, but talking about like movement snacks, like if you're super busy, like your workouts, I think we're so stuck in this world of like, I need to go do this, block of workouts. If I can't just go to the gym and do like 5 sets of goblet squats and walk out when it's like, well, actually, you actually could just do that.
Yeah.
And in fact, like I've worked with a few people who are like, hey, I can't show up like I used to. Like I'm just super crazy busy right now. Can you write me a home workout that I can do in 15 minutes? And it's like, oh yeah, that's easy. It's like I actually can do that. But I do think people have this like everything or nothing, very like binary approach to working out, where it's like I have to do something that feels like it crushes me or it wasn't good enough, so I might as well do nothing.
Yeah.
So that I think that's where my head is with that like questioning of like there's so much room for how much you do, when at the end of the day, like we're just trying to keep the body moving and like, healthier. So I'm just curious what you think about that.
Yeah. I think, like you're saying, you do what you can. And I think people forget about that. They see that, most of the time when we're talking about fitness and reaching a goal, there's like a progression towards it. And it's like, yes, that progression is good. It's a good guideline, but that's in a perfect world where like there's
Mhm.
no outside factors, but things come up, injuries come up, life comes up, work, all this stuff. And it's like, you're going to have to adapt. Like there are days where I'm in the lab, it's a long experiment day. So it's a long experiment day, let's say 10 hours in the lab. And then 2 hours before I have meetings, and the 10-hour lab experiment, and then 2 hours after I have meetings, I'm essentially unable to leave the facility in like 14 hours. So what I do is like most of the time in this scenario with experiments, I'll have like a 1 to 2 hour incubation period for an experiment. So I do all the things and then it has to sit there for an hour or two. Guess what I'm doing? I brought my extra clothes. I have my running shoes. I'm going to go just
Mhm.
run outside campus. I don't even know where I'm going. I have my fucking GPS watch. Just turn it on. I'm just going to go for 45 minutes, whatever. Do that. So it's like it's just squished in there. So I'm able to get it done. Ideally, like I'd rather have, not all these outside factors and all that and just do it my way when I don't feel rushed, but I'm not able to. And I think I've listened to a lot of podcasts and I've noticed a lot where some of the people who do these amazing feats, like running a marathon at a certain time or whatever, they're very successful people on the outside too. Like I
Mhm.
saw a post the other day where this woman, she did a 50K and I forgot what her average pace was. It was like a 6 minute mile or something like that. And she is a surgeon. She's like a surgeon or something like that. So it's like, her schedule isn't flexible
Yeah,
and
not
great,
easy.
like,
Yeah.
and she's able to do that. And then also, like, if you listen to a lot of podcasts from like previous presidents or politicians, like vice presidents, one thing that a lot of them say that is a non-negotiable for them every day, they're running a whole country, and one of the non-negotiables is that they have to do an hour of like a fitness routine or something. So
Hmm.
they wake up and that would be the first thing that they do. So it's like, I think it's for a lot of people who are successful in their work or are really driven, high achieving, they make room for it too.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of like inspiring. It's like, okay, this person's literally running a full country and
And they can still make it
they could
work.
still make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's like on the the end, I think that you and I kind of lean on more sometimes of like just shut up and do it
Yeah.
is like, I've had the conversation with people that, they're like, I don't have time to add in steps or, whatever. And they're, valid points. But I'll say things like, at night, like 7 after dinner, do you watch TV? Like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not saying
Right.
you can't watch TV. I'm just saying like, if we look at a, hierarchy of priorities, TV currently is above your daily step count. And normally that, doesn't, I don't think I've ever started a fight with it, but, it's kind of like, pointing at something that we all notice that everyone's ignoring. And, sometimes it ruffles a little bit of feathers. And it's like, I'm not trying to say like you have to be crazy about it, but, when people come to me, they're typically asking me for like fitness advice. And I'm like, well, because they'll ask, like, well, when do you run? I'm like, at weird times sometimes, like 1 in the afternoon when it's 91 degrees outside because I literally can't do it tonight and I can't do it. I'm unwilling to wake up at 2:30 in the morning instead of 3:30 in the morning. That's just not a good idea. So I gotta run at 1 or 10 when it was like 97 out, and you're like, well, it's probably a bad idea. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just modify the workout a little bit. But yeah, like looking, my wife and I say it all the time when we say like, oh, we don't have time to make something work or the finances to do something, is like it's not always a question of whether or not you can or can't do it. It's a question of whether or not it's a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about those things as like a hierarchy of priorities, like, eating and drinking water are like literally the top of the priority list. But then normally it's like work and then TV and or leisure time and family and then like fitness is
Somewhere
somewhere down
there.
here.
Yeah.
And, I think sometimes having an honest conversation with yourself about like, how much do I care about fitness? Why do I care about fitness? And like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, for some people, if they're like, I don't care about fitness and it'll never be a priority, cool. Live your best life, have fun. But, I tell people all the time, like at the gym, people will talk about how, they're, a lot of the ladies are very impressed with how hard you work and your pull-ups and your dips, and people bring it up all the time. And I sometimes have said and do want to more, but like, you don't want the smoke she's bringing. Like everyone wants to do the thing, but no one wants to do the work to get there.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. And I'm not saying that that's not a comment to anyone at the gym who I've talked to, or it's a comment to everyone actually. Like, if you want to do the amount of pull-ups Day does, it's not like Day does pull-ups casually, or put like it's like a long road and you're just seeing her at the end of the road here, but there's miles and miles and miles back of like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, Day, how do I get to your push-ups? And you're like, well, when I was a little girl, my dad made me do push-ups.
It all started when I was
So,
6.
so go find 2 tiles in your house and put your hands there and do push-ups until you can't feel your arms anymore, and then proceed to do that until today.
For the next
Uh,
26 years.
Yeah, and you're gonna do great.
Yeah.
But they're starting today, and I think anyone could do that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to do cool things, you have to do hard shit. And then I think that's the thing that people get into it. And maybe they're like, "Man, I don't know if I actually want to do this," which is fine. Like I don't want to put the work in to get there. And it's like, heard. But, you know, Day and I aren't curious about how people get to their physiques or fitness goals. I think we both understand pretty well the amount of work that has to go in to get there, and yeah, sometimes it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, it's I always use this athlete as an example, but one of the athletes I work with at the U of A is just like you could put her in any sport, she's gonna excel. And then you
Hmm.
talk to her about, her training. She's young, she's a college student, she's like 20, 21. You talk to her about her training, and it's like she's been training since she was like 3. When her
Hmm.
mom first put her in like basic, like, toddler gymnastics, she got that foundation. Then from then on, she just started swimming. And we all know swimming's not an easy sport. Very, very, there's
Hmm.
a lot of training involved with that. And so she's accumulated time from where she's at now since she was 3 of just training all the time. So it's like, I could have this girl, and I do. I'm like, hey, do a handstand walk. She does a perfect handstand walk. I'm pretty sure she hasn't done handstand walks like since she was 3, like, or since she was a little kid, and she's able to pick it up. And it's just like, man, I wish I could do that. But then at the same time, it's like, well,
Do
like
I?
she's done all this work leading up to it. So it makes sense. And I think, yeah, I it's we did the Tucson Marathon, the relay together this past week, and it's like you see all these people like running the 26 miles at under 3 hours and like at these
Oh,
crazy paces, and it's like, they've put in the work. It's not like they just woke up. And
yeah.
it's humbling for me because like I just started running recently in my life, and so I'm starting to like see like, okay, like this takes a lot of work, and like I'm not genetically gifted for running, so it's like it takes even more work, right? And so it's, yeah, and I see some of these people, and yeah, it's just crazy what they do. And it's like I know for a fact there was a lot of not like glorified training days that they just had to kind of just push through to get there. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I fully agree. There's moments when you're training for something where you're like, I hate this.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. And again, like I think people see that 3 hour marathon and they're like, wow, isn't that so cool? And it is, like it's super dope. But I think for most athletes, there's like a lot of, really challenging. For some people, they don't, it's easy for them to make the choice. They're like, yeah, this is. But I think for a lot of people, it's like, even athletes, they like wake up every day and they're like, okay. It's just, I think, an accumulation of making a choice to pick a priority and then doing it. And then all of a sudden people are like, oh, must have been easy or must have been,
Yeah.
must be easy because you're you. And it's like, oh yeah, it was super easy. The last 10 years of practicing this one thing was, I loved it every minute,
Yeah.
doing, whatever crazy runs people do or being like, oh, I'm gonna try the Bulgarian method for 2 months and see if I can increase my squat or the German volume training. Like, you try weird shit and you're
Yeah.
like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know, and I think embracing it is good. Like you said about successful people, I think being able to embrace the suck for a long, long, long amount of time
Mm-hmm.
is like kind of what some people train themselves to be better at. Some people are probably naturally just better at like, oh yeah, I'll endure this for a while. It'll be fine. I'll be all right. And then some people I think get uncomfortable and they're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like it discouraged them so much because they were so uncomfortable or so bad, and that's like emotionally dysregulating. They're like, not for me.
Yeah.
And some people are like, I bet I get good at this. I sucked, but I bet I could do this. You're
Yeah.
like, you all right, you delusional weirdo.
And I was telling this to Marley the other day. There was this Instagram post of this. It just showed up on my explore page, and it was this girl. She was like waking up. Waking up for a morning bike ride, and she shows her alarm clock. She wakes up at 3. She's on the road at 3:30, and she bikes
Mhm.
for the next 5 hours or something like that, and just biking. She's like, okay, now I'm gonna get on with my day, and that was it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it was kind of like pleasant to see someone work so like that is so not normal. And it was like so cool that it was like such a it's like she was just so casual about it, and she was just like, okay, that's it, have a nice
That's what I
day.
did.
Yeah. And it's just
Yeah.
like I think a lot of people who do the whole like hard, because that is a hardcore thing, they'll always have some type of like motivational quote, something about discipline, motivation, whatever. and they have to make it hardcore. And she was just so lighthearted, like, yeah, this is what I do. I want to be good at cycling, and here you go. I
Mm-hmm.
biked for 5 hours. I woke up at 3 a.m. to do it. And it
Yeah.
was just like so refreshing. I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be so hardcore. You just do it. It was just
Yeah.
like, hey, just do it and just like, you know,
Yeah.
enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd slightly enjoy it or just, remember that this is the way you got to get there.
Yeah.
I was just on that note, I was just listening to, obviously, it was just some fucking podcast where they were talking shit, but this guy was like, if you feel like you always have to like watch the David Goggins motivational videos every time you get up to do something, your discipline sucks. Like you're just using motivation to keep that drive going, like this intensity thing. And I had to think about that for a while. I think that's a really interesting idea of like you should work to not have to work that hard to do the thing you want to do.
Hmm.
Like you should find, yeah, and I know, I mean, that's like a really complicated, deep topic, but it was just an interesting thing where I was like, oh, damn, there's been plenty of times in my life where I'm like, listening to some like, fuck, you gotta be fucking more intense, you gotta fuck whatever. And then, it just fucking goes away. Or you listen to it once and it just stops eliciting that feeling, and then you're like, well, I'm done. I'm
That's
done.
it.
I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, I like that. I like that. I was gonna say I should do that, but it wouldn't work. I'd be like, I hate Day. I send her mean messages when I'm done running, and then I go home, and then I tell my wife how mean Day is to me, and then I cry.
Man. It's yeah, I just it was like it was definitely refreshing. And I think a lot of people can learn from that of just like, hey, just enjoy the training, enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't have to be hardcore or whatever,
Yeah.
even if it is hardcore. So, yeah.
Yeah, or admit to yourself that the thing you're saying out loud as a priority just isn't. You
Yeah.
know, just fucking walk away from it.
Yeah.
It's just not a priority.
Right. I mean, I think like my stress or whatever is a good example. It should be a priority, but it's not.
But it's just
I
not. I
think
just admit it, Day. It's not a
eventually it
priority.
will
Just let it
be.
go.
Eventually it will be.
Well, I think unfortunately that it'll catch that kind of thing will catch you,
Yeah,
you know? Like if I was training for something and just like couldn't admit to myself that I didn't want to do it, you know, I'm just letting some people down, myself mainly. But if I just keep my stress packed at a 12,
yeah.
I think my immune system, you could check with Carmen on this, might,
Might kick in.
I don't know, that's just a theory I have.
Yeah, it might kick in.
Mhm. Okay, how's your training going after that rant?
Yeah. Good. We did the marathon relay, which was super fun. And that was I planned that to be my like easy longer run for the week. Although it wasn't as long because I did the first leg, which was like 8.7 miles
Mhm.
according to my Garmin watch. So that was like my easy longer run for the weekend and all that stuff. But I felt fine that day. Felt fine the next day. Nothing about me felt like structurally wrong, except I started getting pain at the bottom of my foot on my just one foot. And so I ran. I tried running the next day on Monday. I was like, all right, I'm just do like my light run. On Mondays, I tend to do like an easy run or a cross training day. And like I was after like I would say half a mile, I was like limping really bad. Just my foot didn't feel right, and I was like, "All right, here we go." Which is weird because like that was a less of a mileage and an easier pace than what I normally do on my Sundays. So I'm like, I don't know what. I think it was the shoe because I usually use another pair of shoes, and the shoes that I ran with on Sunday, I usually run with on the treadmill only. So this was the first time I was running with them outside. So I do think that I'm assuming that played a role with it. So I haven't run since, and I've just been doing cross training. So I've just been doing weighted stairmaster, and so I did 90 minutes yesterday. The day before I did 90. Today I did an hour, and then I think either tomorrow I might go for like two, just cause it feels
What's your
fine.
resting heart rate?
My resting heart rate, um, on a good day, it's like 48. And then right now, this morning when I woke up, it was a 64. So very high from normal. So
From 8 or 9 cumulative hours of Stairmaster, weighted Stairmaster, maybe.
yeah, I know. But it's been, because it fluctuates throughout the week. Usually by Friday, it's like in the 60s. But like 2 days ago, it was like a 52. The day before that, 48. But that's the thing with my resting heart rate. It's never like steady. It's like bam, bam.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a good sign. But I feel fine. I woke up, I'm like, I felt fine, so I just do it. So
Yeah. Okay. That's not terrible.
yeah.
I mean, I think maybe you should listen to Marley some, but what do I know? I don't fucking know anything.
I don't know. I took a call yesterday while on the
Huh?
Stairmaster, so it's like, I'm doing work on it. So I'm actually being very productive.
Yes, there you go. Reducing stress by knocking off
Yeah.
things you have to do.
Yeah. And it has been pretty calm the like past week now that like classes are done. I'm done with all my
Sure.
finals, all that. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's been pretty chill in terms of that. So, stress-wise, I feel fine. My foot, I'm kind of pissed about that, but I'm assuming within the next few days it should feel a little better and I might test it out again.
What are we doing tomorrow?
Sleds. If there's it might hurt on the sled because it hurts when I'm in that position, in that flex position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sled, a few rounds of sled, push, pull. The burpee broad jumps may bother it, potentially. Wall balls, that should be fine. Lunges, maybe. I did lunges the other day. I felt fine, so it should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No running?
No running. Let me check.
Okay. Was that the 3 rounds of all of them?
Yeah, except now it's 4 rounds.
Man.
Yeah.
I thought that one had a run. It was like a 10-minute walk run to begin.
Maybe.
10-minute walk run, and then
No running on this one.
what's the warm up? Is it a row? 10-minute
It's a,
row?
yeah, ski ergo
10-minute
row. Yeah.
row at an easy pace. The first time I did this, I didn't read because I can't read apparently. And I read easy pace as race pace. So I did 10 minutes at like a 2-minute 5 per 5.
Yeah.
It was like I was wavering between like 150 and 2.
Dude,
And
that's
then
actually pretty wild.
I finished at 10 minutes and was like, I'm dying. That
So
was
you did like
pretty rough.
a 2,500.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was like, huh, that was an interesting row I decided to do, but whatever. And then I did the rest of that whole workout and then came back and was looking at it and was like,
Wait a minute.
I was supposed to do this as an easy pace, not that. Okay, great.
Yeah.
That won't be bad. I like that workout. That's not
Yeah.
terrible.
It's pretty fun. So it should be good.
Um,
How about
yeah,
you?
my training has been hard. I mean, just the running's hard. The fucking running's hard for me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I've got like literally zero running skill over the last 10 years, if not longer. So running's my weak point, which is going to be super fun because the Hyrox isn't a lot of running, right? No, I did that fucking run the other day that made me so sore
Oh, yeah. Why did that make you sore?
because I don't do a lot of speed training.
Oh, okay.
And
Was it
I
hamstrings that were
don't
sore?
know my feet.
Oh, okay.
Dude, my hamstrings, I don't think I've ever felt my runs.
Interesting.
Never.
Yeah. That's good.
Never. My glutes get tired sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's when my quads and my glutes start to get tired because I've changed my running form a little bit, so my calves don't feel like they're gonna explode anymore.
Yeah. But it's your feet now with the most
Yeah,
recent run.
yeah. My feet were just sore, but I also yeah. So I think I send you my pace for the first one.
I don't
So I
think
never
so.
did I never did the at the beginning of this whole workout block I was supposed to do a 10K, time 10K,
Yes.
a time trial, so that then I could pace everything. I didn't do that. Um, so then I was like, oh, I wonder what pace I should do. So here's the workout that Day wrote for us. It was 7 rounds, 5 minutes, 3 minutes at a 10K time trial pace, and then 1 minute at tough pace, which I read as go faster than time trial. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then 1 minute walk and then repeat. I don't know what my 10K pace is, and I'm stupid because I can run a 5K At this point, probably in under 30 minutes, which is like just under 10 minutes a mile. Okay, not bad. If I ran a 6 or 10K, it'd probably be slower, right? 10:15, 10:30. You said run at a 10K time trial pace. I decided to do the first one at a 7:30 pace.
Close. You're only about 3 minutes off of
So, so I hold the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds from seven, seven flat. At about 2:35, it gets to 8:30.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm dying. At 3 minutes, I'm at 9:45. But that's like as I stop. I end at 8:30. And then I did the last minute. I rested because I was. Oh no, I just took off. And then I did 7 minutes for another minute, and then I stopped.
Okay.
Promptly stopped. That was the first one. Okay, the second one. Let's see what I did for the second one. I think I also was stupid on this. Yeah, I did the same bullshit.
Shoot.
Yeah, I do. Let's see. I hold high seven, low eights until, yeah, 3 minutes. And then I paused the workout because I was hands on knees breathing,
Yeah.
like just dying. And then I did the last minute again, 7:30, and then rested. And then everything switches to like 9:50,
And then
9:30.
you're like, all right, this. And then I'm
Yeah.
assuming, did the first 2 rounds damage you so much that the last four felt crappy, or once you adjusted, did it feel like manageable?
Number three felt terrible.
Okay.
That was the first adjustment. Number three, I did the first 3 minutes at about a 9:30 pace, 9:30 to 10, and then the last minute like 8:45,
Okay.
and then everything else kind of felt way better after that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I figured it out. It took two thinking that I could hold a 7 minute mile for 3 straight minutes over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot of rounds, so I think,
I did six.
yeah.
I did 6 rounds total. But yeah, dude, that was tough. That was tough. It really does. It looks easy on paper. You're like, oh, time trial pace, and then, but you get to the end of 3 minutes running like a decent clip, and then you're like, oh, there's no rest. I just have to speed up for another 60
Yeah.
seconds, and your heart's already, I mean, you're already working.
Yeah.
But like that first one, I was at 178 heart rate the entire 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
Oh,
I
wow.
just like, yeah, the drift was up quickly. My heart was like, I'll catch you. So yeah, that was my workout. So anyway, I did that 6 times, everybody, for a total of 2 miles. And yeah, it was really fucking hard.
Yeah, dude.
But it was fun. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do much speed training, so I enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was a good time.
And I think it was really good exposure too to kind of get you thinking about pacing, because obviously Hyrox is a lot of pacing and
Yes.
a lot of 1K. So it's like, okay, how am I going to feel when I run at a 7 minute mile 1K, like 7 minute mile pace for 1K? Like, how am I going to feel? And now it's like, okay, I'm going to be absolutely fucked if I do
Yeah.
that. Knowing that I have to go right into a station and
Mm-hmm.
do this nonstop for the next 90 minutes.
Hour and a
Easy.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah. 90 straight minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun. So we gotta figure out pacing at some point.
Yeah,
That's what we
we
need
do.
to do.
Yes.
But whatever. Maybe that's like morning of, dude.
The day of, right? It's all
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, anything that you're bad at, I'll finish with. Anything I'm bad at, you'll finish with.
Okay, perfect.
So that whatever station kills us, the one who's bad at it can go into the run.
Yeah.
Not seems like the general idea here.
Yeah.
And I'll just do a full sprint with the kettlebells and the sled and just then we'll die.
But the burpee broad jumps is what's gonna kill me.
Yeah, those are rough. Those are rough.
Yeah, that one is just not in me. But I do gotta work on those. I've done them like once, so I really need to work on them.
Dude, people take this Hyrox stuff really serious. We're gonna upset. I mean, we don't have that many fans, but and no, I don't think anyone who does Hyrox, but some of these people are real serious about
I
this.
know. I know. It's gonna be fun to go watch,
Mhm.
like, people who are doing it in like an hour, under an hour, and just like watch them go.
Mhm.
What's the running pace for that? I looked it up the other day. I have to look it up again what the running pace is, but it's like they're speeding through those like 1K.
Oh yeah,
Those
they're
1K.
running.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah, they're not. They're running like a 6 minute, 7 minute pace for those.
yeah, they're going a little faster. It's like
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of
Ew.
crazy. Yeah, I know. So I'm like we'll just run on the outside so we're not in their way. Like please just have it.
Stop for pictures with people.
Yeah.
Sorry, we gotta get going.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Um, what else you got?
Trying to think. Let's see.
You gotta leave at 1:15, right?
I do, yeah. I have a friend.
Okay.
He's met him in the Air Force. He's a pilot, and he every so often they fly into here. I think he's currently in Oklahoma or Kansas. Anyways, he shot me a text this morning. He's like, "Hey, we're randomly flying into Davis Monthan today." So I was like, "Okay, gotta go see him." It's been like four
Oh
years.
hell yeah.
So yeah,
Sick, dude.
yeah. So it's
That's
fun.
dope.
Yeah.
My only complaint I have one thing I'll add
Okay.
is that Hyrox is not a hybrid sport, and that makes me angry. That's my big take here.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this last time, but there's no strength stuff. Like I know hybrid's kind of like a, whatever term that people get, whatever. But what was his name? Alex Viada? Is that the guy who kind of
Yeah.
like started it? He was on the Coach Mode podcast.
Mhm.
And the thing he said was, by his definition, he created it, so I'm going to listen to him. You are training for two things that the training for one does not help the training for the other one, right? There's no overlapping Venn diagram here. Okay? They're like this. There's nothing about the Hyrox training that isn't overlapping. Like, it's just cardio and conditioning. You don't have to be super strong. You just have to be in really good cardiovascular shape because the people who keep crushing these and getting like faster times are smaller and smaller people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I do feel like if you unracked the top 15 CrossFit athletes and put them against the top 15 Hyrox athletes, I just don't think there's a chance. Or I think they could compete in Hyrox and do incredible. I don't think it goes the other way around
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen like the elite 15s, I think they call them, Hyrox, and yeah, a lot of those dudes wouldn't be able to. I mean, you look at a CrossFit athlete and their strength standards for that elite level, like men's and women's, it's like there is no way.
Yeah.
They're doing 185 the women are doing like 185-pound snatches for reps under fatigue. I
Yes.
doubt that's
No.
any yeah. So
Yeah.
that being said, CrossFit at the elite level is another end of the spectrum of its own. But I do agree if you look at a lot of the Hyrox elite athletes, just looking at them first glance, I'm not going to be like, all right, these are strength athletes. Like I can clearly
Mm-mm.
tell they're endurance athletes. And that maybe have a little bit more of like general strength for the specific stations. But I mean, you saw that the sled, we were doing the sleds, and I'm smaller and I am not anywhere near close to being like a pro Hyrox person. I'm like brand new,
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the barrel, and I was able to push the men's weight on the sled.
Yeah.
Right. And like if I walk into a CrossFit and I do an RX workout under the training I've been doing, there's no way I could do the RX weight for women's, let
Mm-hmm.
alone men's.
Yeah.
So, there's things like that. Yeah, I would agree with that it's not a hybrid sport.
Mm-mm.
But for the general population, though,
It's great.
it is. And it
Yeah.
is hybrid in the sense because not a lot of people can push heavy sleds and all that, or do the farmers' carries are pretty light, but a lot of people, maybe are not, they don't do that. So it is, strength for them. It's pretty high. So
I'll
I
accept
never
that.
give a straight answer. I'm always like both sides.
No, I get it. I get it. I'll be on the other side for you. I think if you're doing high rocks, it's great. I'm doing one. It'll be fun. Whatever. And I think most people don't care that it's like a hybrid thing. And I think most people who do high rocks don't know what the hybrid thing actually is. And it's really just like us weirdos who sit and listen to podcasts all day and then want to try weird, really niche fitness stuff and actually like love it. The fitness like sciencey bullshit, because like the people, I think the people competing in Hyrox don't give a fuck. You know, they're like, dude, whatever. This is just a cool competition.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, technically, it's not hybrid training.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, whatever, loser. He'll crawl back in your dungeon, dummy. And you know, I'm not a big complainer without solutions. So my solution to this is take out the burpee broad jumps and do like
Max bench.
body weight ratioed bench press or squat or deadlift. One
Yeah.
of them. None of the
Deadlift would be
complex Olympic lifts. You know,
Yeah.
we don't need to do cleans and snatches. But you know, like if the whole thing is hybrid, like go with the most traditional one that us weirdos think about, which would be like strength training, very specific strength training, and cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So like make me do the 8Ks and the sleds and all that stuff, but the burpee broad jumps, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or like the lunges. Like I should get time deducted the heavier my lunges go for the same distance. Like if you grab 40s and torch it in, 54 seconds, great. But if I grab hundreds, it should,
Got what you're saying.
I
Okay.
should be done in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Give me some kind of benefit for being strong as shit.
Yeah.
Or if like, if I've got someone who can run a 3-minute mile pace or 4-minute mile pace on like a super fast 1K, like a really really good 1K, but then we get to the deadlifts and this person barely hits like, 1 times body weight. That's a knock. That's a knock. No, can't be playing that game. Or just know that you've got to be like elite in some of the ones and then,
Yeah.
But then again, I think you'd have these CrossFit athletes come in and just absolutely take the board,
Yeah.
because they're freaks, dude.
They are. Actually, let me look.
Imagine non-pregnant Tia Toomey doing this, you know?
She is such an anomaly.
Yeah.
Let me look. There was
Did you see she smoked a Hyrox workout while pregnant?
it was recent, right? Because
Yeah, she just did it. She's a freak.
Unreal, man. It's like, yeah, it's like at this point, it's like she's dominated so much. Everyone's like, yeah, we get it. Like, we get it. There's
Yeah.
nothing more to prove. She could do a competition and come in last place, and she's still goated forever. Like, no, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's ever gonna touch her, like, in terms of
No.
greatness in the sport.
In CrossFit? No. No. And even, dude, Mike Israetel and was just on a podcast, and I know he's not the most loved person in YouTube right now, but someone was asking him like who are the best athletes, and he was like, hands down, it's CrossFit.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Like they are almost elite at everyone's sport at all times. Running, swimming, biking, lifting, Olympic, gymnastics, obscure strengthman things like
Yeah.
strength sport stuff that end up in the CrossFit games, like the shield carries.
The bear hug carries with the sandbags and all that. Yeah.
What the fuck are we? It's a strongman sport.
Yeah. They'll do a lot
They
of
win. I mean,
performance.
they'll torch almost like this, like elite people for no reason.
Yeah. It is kind
I
of
was
crazy.
like, yeah.
And they're really good. Yeah. They'll do some crazy like gymnastics movements and some athletic stuff too, and just like pure strength. It's pretty insane. But Justin Medeiros, he was the male CrossFit champion a few years ago. I think he was like 2 years in a row, like 2021, 2022, something like that. But he did Hyrox doubles with his girlfriend, who's also an elite CrossFit athlete. And they did it in sub 1 hour, 58:26.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's crazy. Well, I wonder what the fast is. What's the record?
yeah. For doubles,
Hyrox Pro doubles record. Men's world record, Rich Ryan, Paleo, Menendez, Fernandez. Did I say that right? Yeah. 48:31. Women's is 53:56.
53:46.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm checking right now. How fast do elite Hyrox runners run? Elite Hyrox runners maintain incredibly fast paces, averaging around 5:30 to 6-minute miles. And that's on top of they're maintaining that while doing a bunch of stuff in between. So yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I know you have to go, but here's my last complaint about this, if you have a
Yes.
second. All of the training advice I see about Hyrox, like all these Hyrox athletes, and I have their Instagrams, so like train like this. Dude, it's like, I don't know.
Is it running
It's
only?
well, it's like the strength stuff is like no offense to anyone, but just kind of like gimmicky strength bullshit. It's like very specific. Like when we do the specific thing, we just do a mock-up, you know? But it's like, want to get better at wall balls? Do double dumbbell squat curl presses.
The curls, adding the
And I'm
curl
like,
into the
dude,
push.
shut the fuck up. I want to make a video that's like, you want to get better at wall balls? Squat 400 pounds.
Yeah. Or
Continue to try to squat really heavy weights while getting better at cardio, and then all of a sudden a 12-pound ball doesn't feel like anything.
yeah. Or even just like heavy dumbbell thrusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
You have to become
people are
efficient in
like,
the movement. I don't know why you
yeah,
would add a curl in there, but to each their own.
because it makes your arms tired,
Yeah.
Day. It makes your arms tired. So, I don't know. It just drives me that gets under my skin a little bit,
Yeah.
But most things do.
I do think there's an element of like trying to mimic like becoming efficient in the movement because I know like with CrossFit like you'll have to if you're doing let's say like handstand push-ups for example like you could get a really strong overhead press and all that and build shoulder strength obviously you're going to need that but you'll also have to be efficient in the movement to do it repeatedly over and over again and do it
Mm-hmm.
all the ton of reps so then you'll have to become more specific in that and doing variations of like handstand push-ups and handstand push-ups in general
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So it's like you have to have a mix of both with that. Like you were saying, like you're going to have to like squat heavier so that ball is going to feel like nothing. But you're also going to need to do something like a dumbbell thrust or whatever that kind of mimics the movement a little bit more and so you can become more efficient in doing that under fatigue, under load. So having a mixture of both, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think to refine my complaint is that those are never accompanied together. It's always the like niche obscure specific stuff
Yeah.
and it's never like hey, here's just a good like in one of our workouts, we do a Hyrox mock up with no running between, but the thing before that is heavy RDLs, heavy rows, goblet squats and bench press.
Mhm.
It's like a normal strength workout.
Mhm.
And then you do the other stuff. I don't know. I've just been yet to be convinced that being incredibly strong is not beneficial to being a good athlete.
Yeah.
I just can't see it. I really can't figure out. I want someone to tell me I'm very wrong. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to bounce.
I got to bounce.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Do this weird thing with my hand.
Bye guys.
Say hi to Ozzy. Adios, friends.
See you guys.